You walk into a room full of people. Maybe it's a classroom, maybe it's a party, maybe it's just the cafeteria, and within seconds, something inside you shifts. Your chest tightens, your hands don't know where to go. You pull out your phone and pretend to scroll because standing there doing nothing feels unbearable. Someone glances at you and you immediately look away. A group is laughing nearby, and for a split second your brain whispers, "They're laughing at you." They're not, but it doesn't matter. The feeling already hit. Later that night, you replay the whole thing in your head. You think about how you said something weird, how you stood in the corner too long, how you couldn't keep a conversation going, and you label yourself. I'm just socially awkward. That's who I am. But here's the thing. You're not socially awkward. You're not broken. You're not missing some gene that makes people naturally charismatic. What's actually happening is much simpler and much more fixable than you think. You're making 5 status mistakes that almost every student makes without even realizing it. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. This isn't about becoming fake or loud or pretending to be someone you're not. This is about understanding how social dynamics actually work. So stick with me through this whole video, because the last mistake is the one that changes everything. Let me explain why this keeps happening to you. Every time you walk into a social situation, your brain is running a background program. It's scanning. It's asking one question on repeat. Where do I rank here? That's not insecurity. That's biology. Humans are wired to assess status in every interaction. It's been like that for thousands of years. The problem is, most students have never been taught how status actually works. So instead of learning the game, you just feel the pressure of it. You've probably tried to fix this before. You told yourself to just be more confident, to stop caring what people think, to just relax. And it worked for about 12 seconds. Then you were right back in your head again. That's because confidence isn't a switch you flip. It's not something you can force with willpower. Telling yourself to just be confident is like telling someone with a dead phone to just make a call. The battery isn't there. What you actually need is to understand the specific mistakes that are draining your social battery before you even open your mouth. Once you fix those, confidence doesn't need to be forced. It shows up on its own. So let's break down the 5 status mistakes, and I want you to be honest with yourself about which ones you're making, because awareness is where this starts. The first status mistake is seeking approval with your body language before anyone even speaks to you. Most students don't realize this, but your body talks louder than your mouth. When you walk into a room with your shoulders curved in, your eyes darting around, your arms crossed or glued to your phone, you're broadcasting one message: I don't belong here. And people pick up on that instantly, not because they're judging you, but because humans read body language faster than words. Think about it. When someone walks in, standing tall, moving slowly, taking up space, you naturally assume they're comfortable. You assume they belong. That's not arrogance. That's just calm presence. The fix is simple. Before you enter any room, roll your shoulders back, take one slow breath, and walk in like you've been there before. You don't need to perform. You just need to stop shrinking. The second mistake is talking too fast. When you're nervous, your brain speeds everything up. You talk faster because subconsciously you feel like you need to get your words out before people lose interest. But here's what actually happens. Fast talking signals anxiety. It tells the other person you don't feel worthy of their time. Slow down. Pause between sentences. Let there be silence. People who are comfortable with silence are perceived as more confident every single time. The third mistake is over-explaining yourself. This one is subtle, but it's everywhere. Someone asks you a simple question: why didn't you come to the party last night? And instead of just saying, I wasn't feeling it, you launch into this long explanation. Well, I had this assignment, and then I was kind of tired, and I was going to come, but then my friend canceled, and I didn't want to show up alone, and honestly, I just didn't feel great. You know what that does? It puts you below the other person. You're basically asking for permission to have made your own choice. People with high social status don't over-explain. They give short, calm answers and move on. You don't owe anyone a paragraph for living your life. Practice giving shorter responses. It feels uncomfortable at first, but it immediately shifts how people perceive you. The fourth mistake is laughing at your own jokes before anyone else does. This one might sting a little, but hear me out. When you say something and immediately start laughing, you're doing something called self-validation. You're trying to tell the room, "That was funny, right? Please agree." And the moment you do that, you hand your power away. Instead, say what you want to say and let it land. If it's funny, people will laugh. If it's not, that's fine too. The key is being okay with either outcome. That's what real confidence looks like, not needing the room to confirm you. The fifth mistake is the one I said would change everything, and it's this: you're reacting to people instead of leading interactions. Let me explain what that means. When someone talks to you, you wait. You wait for them to pick the topic. You wait for them to ask the questions. You wait for them to set the energy. You just respond, and that puts you in a follower position every single time. High-status people initiate. They ask the first question. They change the subject when it's dying. They introduce people to each other. They don't wait for permission to participate. You don't need to dominate every conversation, but you do need to stop being a passenger in all of them. Next time you're in a group, be the one who asks someone a question first. Be the one who brings someone into the circle who's standing alone. That one small shift changes everything about how people see you. Now here's why all of this works on a deeper level. Your brain has something called a social prediction system. Before every interaction, it tries to predict what will happen. If your past experiences have been awkward or painful, your brain predicts more awkwardness. So it puts you in defense mode. Shoulders close in, voice speeds up, eye contact drops. You start performing the exact behaviors that create the outcome you're afraid of. It becomes a loop. Prediction creates behavior. Behavior creates outcome. Outcome confirms prediction. Breaking that loop isn't about thinking differently. It's about acting differently first. The new behavior creates a new outcome, and slowly your brain updates its prediction. Now, before you go try all of this, I need to correct something in your head first. A lot of students watch these videos and think they need to become a completely different person to be tomorrow. They go to school the next day and try to be this ultra-confident, smooth-talking version of themselves. And when it doesn't work perfectly, they quit and say, "See, I knew I was just awkward." Stop doing that. This is not an overnight transformation. You're not going to go from silent in every group to leading every conversation in a week. That's not how people work. What matters is small, consistent shifts. One better interaction today. One moment where you didn't shrink. One time where you held eye contact a little longer than usual. That's progress. And stop comparing yourself to that one person who seems effortlessly social. You're seeing their highlight reel. You're not seeing the years it took them to get comfortable. You're not seeing the awkward phases they went through. Everyone had them. Confidence is not a talent. It's a skill built through repetition. So give yourself permission to be bad at it for a while. That's not failure. That's the process working exactly how it should. So let me pull all this together for you so it sticks. Mistake 1. Your body language is asking for approval before you even speak. Fix it by standing tall, moving slowly, and walking into rooms like you belong there. Mistake 2. You're talking too fast because your brain thinks you're not worth listening to. Fix it by slowing down and letting pauses exist without panicking. Mistake 3. You over-explain every choice you make. Fix it by giving shorter, calmer answers and not treating every question like you're on trial. Mistake 4. You laugh at your own jokes and seek validation in real time. Fix it by letting your words land and being okay with whatever response comes. Mistake 5, you react instead of lead. You wait for people to include you instead of stepping forward. Fix it by being the one who starts conversations, asks questions, and brings people in. And underneath all 5 of those, remember this: your brain is running on old predictions. Every time you act differently, you give it new data. New data builds new predictions. New predictions build new confidence. That's the system. Here's what I want you to understand. The fact that you clicked on this video tells me something about you. It tells me you're not okay with staying where you are. Most people just accept the label. They say, "I'm awkward," like it's a permanent condition, and they never question it. You questioned it. That already puts you ahead. But watching this video means nothing if you don't do something with it. Not everything, not all 5 at once, just one. Pick the one mistake you know you make the most and focus on it this week. 1 week, that's it. Next time you walk into a room, stand a little taller. Next time someone asks you a question, because a year from now, you're either going to be the same person replaying conversations in your head at night, or you're going to be someone who walks into rooms without that tightness in their chest. The difference between those two people isn't talent, it's not luck, it's not personality. It's the decision to start acting before your brain gives you permission. If this video helped you see yourself a little differently, leave a like, subscribe if you want more like this, and I'll see you in the next one.